Now, at the time of this clip, we knew a lot less, so we're not here to just poke fun, but it's interesting to hear
I am
how
here
a couple
mostly
of
to poke fun.
Lon is here mostly to poke fun. I'm here to provide. That's my job. I thought I was the funny one. Anyways, here's a clip of Dylan and Jason talking about COVID before we knew much in the early days of lockdowns.
Now that you're a work from home company, and you obviously you were not all in for work from home. You believe in people being in the office and collaborating.
I think it's great for people to be in physical spaces together.
Yeah. So you were not bought into this like other people are. Do you think?
Let me define that more.
Yeah.
So I think there's the possibility of it, but still think there's great benefits to being in an office.
So how does that change when this crisis ends in, I think, April 15th?
Oh, man. I think that'd be awesome if it's true.
I think Apple's opening their stores in the first 2 weeks of the rumor, and I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but I heard some inside information. They're going to open Apple stores in the first 2 weeks.
Yep.
I think restaurants are going to start opening again April 15th or so.
Yep.
In that time frame.
Sadly, no.
I think Trump said something like, we'll be back for Easter. So I think people are going to get the test results back. We're sitting here on the 24th. I think last week was peak fear.
Oh, man.
In my mind. It could be this week for people, but I experiencing peak fear last week.
Bummer.
I don't want to be a downer here.
Okay, go ahead.
But should I be?
Yeah, do it. Nobody,
I think,
Dylan, nobody knows. I mean, that's one thing we've learned here is nobody knows.
I think that we're going to see, I hope that for California and for other places that have put more restrictive measures in place earlier, that we'll see, sort of like the stabilization, the fact that you're talking about, and hospitals won't be overloaded. I don't think that means that we can all just go back to work and go back to the way we were living before, because I think we'll see a second wave effect, where there still is the virus out there, and we'll start to see it spread again, and then hospitals will be overloaded then. So I think the
so what do you think? You think San Francisco, there's a chance San Francisco Bay Area, San Mateo County, et cetera, says 2 more weeks of this, 4 more weeks of this?
I think it could be a lot longer potentially, and I think there could be
all the way to May or June.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's I think that there's also potential for, if we start to see people disregarding the orders, I wouldn't be surprised if we see enforcement.
Yeah,
and that's something I think people aren't even thinking about right now.
Yeah,
but it's
that would be civil unrest on a level that would be disturbing.
I don't know. Would it? It depends on sort of like how people think about the situation.
So, Lon, this reminds me, I had this conversation with my mother-in-law. We were at my in-law's house. It was March, around this time, probably plus or minus 2 days. And we were all sitting around trying to figure out what was going on, what was going to change. And at this time, no one in the States wore a mask, ever. Like, if you saw someone wearing a mask, you thought they were robbing a bank. Like, it was that rare. So we were getting used to wearing a mask here and there, trying to figure out, like, are cloth masks good? Remember those days?
Sure,
buying them on Etsy. And so we're sitting around talking about this, and I'm like, maybe a couple of months. People say maybe a couple of weeks. My mother-in-law goes, 18 months. And we all looked at her like she had just fallen off the planet.
Yeah.
Like we just didn't believe it.
Yeah.
And then
that was crazy.
It was 24 months.
No, yeah. I mean, Jason says, I think it sounds crazy to hear now in retrospect, but in March, we all thought June was like outside. Maybe.
Unbelievably far out.
Maybe we're still doing some of this stuff in June, but that would be like anything longer than that was considered like you're hysterical, you're paranoid, you're a hypochondriac. Like no, and I include myself. Like nobody thought it was going to last beyond May or June. It was unthinkable to us that it could get that bad.
Yeah, I'm glad that Dylan was a little bit more bearish.
A little bit.
I mean,
a little bit.
Amazing, almost prescient when he said, if we go back out, there'll be a second wave. I mean, there was more than 2, but he was looking ahead there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting how the COVID moment changed so many people's thinking patterns.
It's the worst nightmare of every founder. You've built a product, everything's working great, then real users start flooding in and suddenly it all breaks. What a disaster. You need to get it back up and running, and you got to do that fast. You're looking like an amateur. That's why you need a partner like Sentry. Applications can break in many different ways, but Sentry sees everything. You'll get all the relevant details like stack traces, commits, releases, and even the developers who push that problem code in the first place. With Sentry, you're not going to be jumping around between different tools trying to figure out what happened. And Seer, Sentry's AI debugging agent, uses all this data and context to identify the root cause of the problem and suggest a fix. It can even take a look at your code before it ships and warn you if any problems are likely. Try Seer and Sentry for free if you're a This Week in Startups listener at sentry.io/twist. Use the code TWIST for $240 in Sentry credits. Make sure you use that code. Make sure you use that URL, sentry.io/twist, so they know your Uncle J. Cal sent you.